She can look you in the eye, whisper, "I love you," and plan her escape at the same time. That sentence hurts, but it's the truth most men don't want to hear. Listen, women don't usually cheat like guys do. It's not a one-night stupid mess for many of them. It's a quiet, careful drift, a slow rerouting of feelings, needs, and safety. By the time you find the proof, she's not just done with the act, she's often already left you in her head. I'm going to show you the 3 situations where women are most likely to cheat. Not to scare you, not to shame anyone. You need this because denial is why men get blindsided. Read these, watch how behaviors change, and don't ignore your gut. 1. When she feels starved of attention, affection, and feeling alive. Here's something most men don't get until it's too late. Women don't just cheat because of sex. They cheat when they feel starved. Not starved of food, not starved of money, but starved of feeling alive. A woman can be in a relationship where everything looks fine from the outside. Bills are paid, house is stable, kids are safe. But inside, she feels invisible. She feels like a ghost in her own home. Men often think, I'm providing, I'm doing my job. But she's not looking at the bills you paid. She's looking at the way you used to look at her. The compliments that used to make her smile. The little touches that told her you matter. When those stop, she doesn't stop needing them. She starts craving them even more. And here's the truth, women are better at hiding that hunger than men. A man might explode, lash out, or go distant. A woman will smile at dinner, tuck the kids in, and still hold the household together. But at night, when you're snoring next to her, she's scrolling through her phone. She's texting someone who listens, someone who notices her hair, her tone, her feelings. And slowly, that attention fills the hole you left empty. Think about it. She's not telling herself, I'm betraying him. She's telling herself, I'm just filling a gap so I can stay. She justifies it as protecting the family, but every night she spends sharing her thoughts with another man, a piece of her bond with you breaks. I'll give you a picture. Imagine she comes home from work, tired, worn down, and you barely lift your head from the TV. You think it's normal, you think she understands. But someone else at work noticed her new dress, noticed her effort, noticed the way she laughed. That small attention is like water on dry soil. It doesn't take much. And once she gets used to it, the home starts to feel emptier, colder. That's why so many men are blindsided. You think she's fine because she didn't complain. But women don't always shout about their hunger. They just drift. They find the attention somewhere else. And when that happens, you're already being replaced piece by piece. The lesson is simple. Stop thinking providing is enough. Relationships don't run on autopilot. If you don't feed her attention, affection, and the feeling of being wanted, someone else will. That's not a scare tactic. That's reality. 2. When respect dies, love slowly follows. Here's a painful truth. Love without respect doesn't last. A woman can stay in a house with you, share a bed with you, even laugh at your jokes. But if she stops respecting you, the bond is already broken. And this is where most men miss the point. Respect doesn't disappear overnight. It erodes piece by piece. It might start when you stop keeping your word. Maybe you promised to fix something but kept delaying. Maybe you used to surprise her but stopped trying. Maybe you thought being busy at work was noble, but all she saw was being ignored. Slowly, she shifts. She doesn't look at you with admiration anymore. She looks at you with disappointment. And women can fake it better than men. She'll still show up at family events, still smile in pictures, still say, I'm fine. But deep inside, she's detaching. She doesn't argue as much because she doesn't care as much. She doesn't nag because she doesn't expect change. Silence replaces her words. Coldness replaces her laughter. That's when respect is gone. Now here's the dangerous part. Once respect is lost, desire usually follows. She doesn't look at you as her man anymore. She looks at you as someone she just lives with. At that point, cheating becomes less about lust and more about escape. She's not running toward another man out of thrill. She's running away from you because the respect that glued her to you has already faded. Picture this. You think everything is normal. She cooks dinner, she asks about your day, she smiles at your friends. But when you look in her eyes, you don't see that spark. That's not moodiness. That's detachment. And when that detachment builds long enough, another man who shows her admiration, even small admiration, becomes a magnet. This is where men often wake up too late. They realize respect died months or years ago, and when they try to win it back with last-minute effort, she's already gone emotionally. Understand this. Once a woman no longer respects you, love feels like a burden, not a bond. And cheating becomes not a sudden choice, but the last step of a long goodbye. 3. When fear and circumstances push her out. Not every woman cheats because she's in love with someone else. Sometimes she cheats because she feels trapped, scared, or stuck. Fear is a powerful driver. Fear of being alone, fear of raising kids by herself, fear of not being able to survive financially, fear of what people will say if she leaves. So instead of walking away, she builds a backup plan. That other man becomes her safety net, her soft landing. She doesn't frame it as betrayal in her head. She frames it as survival. She thinks, I can't leave yet, but I need somewhere to fall when I finally do. And slowly that safety net grows into something more. It often starts small. She vents to him about you. She tells herself it's harmless, just talking. But talking builds trust. Trust builds intimacy. Intimacy builds dependence. Before long, she's leaning on him for the comfort she doesn't feel at home. And every time you dismiss her fears, ignore her feelings, or brush off her words, she leans deeper into him. Think about it like this. Arguments that you see as just normal couple fights, she sees as proof she can't rely on you. Nights of silence that you think are nothing, she sees as loneliness. And in that loneliness, the man who listens, comforts, or simply makes her laugh starts to feel like a lifeline. By the time she cheats, it's not always passion. It's escape. It's her way of stepping out without the shock of being alone. That's why so many men say, I didn't see it coming. Because while you thought she was fine, she was already building her exit route. And here's the harsh reality. Once she finds safety in another man, it's very hard to pull her back. Because cheating, in this case, isn't about thrill. It's about survival. And survival is a stronger pull than love. So here's the truth. Women don't cheat out of nowhere. It doesn't just happen. It happens when 3 powerful things come together. When she feels starved of attention, when her respect for you slowly fades, or when fear makes her build a safety net. By the time you notice the signs, most of the damage is already done. And this is where men mess up. They deny. They tell themselves, she would never. She loves me. They ignore the gut feeling, the changes in her eyes, the late night phone hiding. But denial is what destroys men the most. It keeps you blind until it's too late. Listen carefully. You can't control what a woman chooses. You can't force loyalty out of someone who has already left you in her heart. But you can control yourself. You can control how much you notice, how much you accept, and how quickly you act when the signs appear. The biggest mistake you can make is begging for scraps of love. If she's already gone inside, no amount of chasing will bring her back. What will bring you peace is facing the truth, protecting your dignity, and never lowering your standards for the sake of keeping someone who doesn't value you. So if this message hit you hard, it means you needed it. Don't just keep it to yourself. Share it with another man who might be sleepwalking through the same trap. And if you want more raw truths about psychology, women, and relationships, subscribe to this channel right now, because remember this, love can be beautiful, but without awareness and respect, it can also blind you. And the cost of staying blind is always heavier than the pain of seeing the truth. Stay awake, stay strong, and never let denial steal years of your life.